So ESPN's FPI, as we noted on yesterday's show, there are some days where statistically I'm like, yeah, I understand the formula. I understand what they're doing. I understand how they go about things, how ESPN goes about things. And then there are some days where it's just like, there's no way that mathematic formula could come to that conclusion. What is it smoking? Whatever it's smoking, I want some of it. But today we're going to go through Kentucky's schedule, what is predicted by ESPN's FPI. I'm going to take a real quick sip of the unnamed no-brand water here. Sometimes you got to do that a little bit out of breath today. I have no idea why. First game of the season for the Kentucky Wildcats against the Miami Redhawks. Miami of Ohio. That's the first game of the season. Kentucky has a 93.3% chance to win this game, according to ESPN's FPI. This one I don't really have a whole lot to say on. I'm kind of confused as to why Miami gets 6.7% in this game. I know that Kentucky has not been phenomenal in season openers. At least they've not consistently blown teams out of the water recently. But this is a Miami team that went 7-6 last year. I'm not really expecting a whole lot out of this game other than for Kentucky to go out there and just kind of do what they do and catch a dub. So yeah, 93.3%. I would probably want that higher, 96, 97. That's just me, though. All right, the second game, according to ESPN's FPI, this is one that I get, but also I don't. So second game of the season, for those of you that don't know, is at Florida. It's a 6 o'clock game. It's going to be on ESPN. It's going to be awesome, especially if Florida wins that game one against Utah. Both these teams might be ranked. Who knows? One of these teams is going to be ranked for sure, and it's probably going to be Kentucky. But according to ESPN's FPI, their matchup predictor gives Florida a very, very slight edge. 51.1% is the likelihood that Florida wins this game, according to ESPN, their football power index. I'm probably seeing this through blue and white checkered glasses, guys, but I think if it were me, and I was running a mathematics-based system, I would probably not find Florida winning that game 51% of the time. I think, if anything, it should swing slightly in Kentucky's favor when you look at what's returning on the roster, statistically what both of these teams did well last season and what they could be projected to do this year. You know, I just think that Kentucky, top to bottom, coaching staff included, again, it's easy to knock a first-year head coach and a first-year staff when you haven't seen him perform. But if we're going off of speculation, or if we're just projecting here, if we're using a mathematical formula, you would like to think that things would lean the direction of the team that brings back more, the team that arguably has more talent, the team that has been more consistent as of late, and the team. It just makes more sense to me to say that Florida loses that game, and if we're going to put a statistical projection on it, I'm surprised that it leans 51% in favor of the Gators. All right, third game of the season, Youngstown State. This is a pretty easy one, 98.2% in favor of the Wildcats. That makes sense there. Northern Iowa, game 4, 95.1% in favor of the Wildcats. Again, I don't really know what NIU or Miami of Ohio or Youngstown State really brings to the table to not make prediction there, 99.9% or 98% for any of those games. But okay. It apparently thinks that Kentucky, their only loss so far will be to Florida, and that is a very, very close coin flip type of game. All right, you look at game 5 at Ole Miss. This is one that I actually disagree with. We can look at formulas and stuff all you want, but this is one that if I'm predicting it on paper and I'm just going off of what I see and what I feel, this is not going to happen. Kentucky only has a 40% chance to win on the road at Ole Miss in Oxford. I'll just say this right off the bat. Ole Miss this season, I think, is going to take a little bit of a step back. I don't think Lane Kiffin's got what he wants in quarterback there. I think that he was looking for something through the transfer portal, and he got Jackson Dart. From what I've seen, what I've heard, does not look like Kiffin is comfortable with that quarterback room. And so I really think that that's important for him. I really think that's important for that team. Defensively, they were much better last year. I question what they're going to do this season. And offensively, they lost Jeff Lebby. That's a huge loss, the offensive coordinator there to Oklahoma. A lot of retooling going on for Ole Miss. I think Kentucky is the better team. I think they have the better coaching staff. I think they have the better quarterback. Oxford is not a difficult place to play. I feel like this, if it were me, just me, no numbers, just me, probably closer to 50-50, maybe 52-53% in favor of the Wildcats. I would have them winning that game, and I'm going to have them winning that game whenever we do schedule predictions. All right, I'm going to continue along here, try and move quickly. Kentucky has a 76.5% chance to beat South Carolina. That makes sense there. It's at home. We don't really know what Shane Beamer's going to do in year two. Mississippi State, Kentucky has a 63% chance to beat the Bulldogs, and I can only kind of chalk this one up to after seeing what they did to Kentucky last year. Okay, well, I think ESPN's FPI is just kind of assuming, well, they are the better team. Statistically, they're better, and I don't really know a whole lot of what really goes into their model. I've looked at it before. But yeah, I think this makes sense, but you also got to take into account what happened last season, and Mississippi State's just such a hit and miss. There's just such a hit and miss team. Here's another one for you. Tennessee on the road. The next game after Mississippi State, October 29th. Kentucky's favored in this game. So you're telling me Kentucky's not favored at home against Florida. They're not favored on the road against Ole Miss, but they're favored in Knoxville against Tennessee, arguably the third best team in the East, maybe the second. They got a Heisman sleeper down there. 52.6% is what ESPN's FPI predicts. They give Kentucky a borderline 53% chance to win this game. Now, it's close. Don't get me wrong, it's close. But if you were to tell me out of Florida, Ole Miss, and Tennessee, those three road games, which one would the opponent be favored by 60%? I would say Tennessee. I would say, yeah, give Tennessee a 61, 62, 63% chance to win that game at home against Kentucky. We saw what happened last season. That offense can do damage. And they've got guys back. That surprises me. So far, Kentucky has taken 2 losses, according to ESPN's FPI, to Florida and Ole Miss. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So currently they are 6-2 on their schedule. Heading to Columbia, Missouri, they've got a 70% chance to beat the Missouri Tigers. That makes sense there. If that rush defense is as bad as it was last year, I think Kentucky's going to find some consistency later on in the season. That'll be a game where you may see the offense really click. So 7-2. You've got Vanderbilt at home. Do I even need to read it? 94.8% chance to win that game. Wait a minute. Hold on. So let's just be clear here really quickly. Let's not skip over this. So Vanderbilt is November 12th. They've got a 94.8% chance to win that game. And then Kentucky only has a 93.3% chance to beat Miami of Ohio. They've got a better chance of beating Vandy than they do Miami of Ohio. Oy vey. Oy vey. All right, Georgia. This is the matchup that I really wanted to kind of touch on here. So the Bulldogs have an 83.3% chance of beating Kentucky in Lexington. Second to last game of the season. Kentucky's only got a 16.7% chance to win this game. I'm thinking it's more closer to 35 or 40, guys, at least on paper right now. And by the time that game rolls around, I think it's going to be closer in Kentucky's favor. That is a game that we are going to continue to watch. We're going to continue to keep an eye on, going to continue to project what could happen as long as Kentucky doesn't take 2 or 3 losses before November. All right, final game here, 70.9% chance to beat Louisville in the Governor's Cup at home. That makes sense. So, again, to recap, ESPN's FPI believes Kentucky is going to lose to Florida, Ole Miss, Georgia, but they are going to beat Miami of Ohio, Youngstown State, Northern Illinois, Ole Miss. Wait, am I tripping? No, excuse me. They will not beat Ole Miss, South Carolina, Mississippi State, Tennessee, Missouri, Vanderbilt, and Louisville. So that is a 9-3 record. Again, 3 losses to Florida, Ole Miss, and Georgia. That is what ESPN's FPI predicts. 9-3, really, really solid season. Kind of replicating what happened a season ago. You look, man, this is why I don't understand ESPN's FPI. You look at the Florida, the Ole Miss, and the Tennessee games, right, as kind of like, those are going to be tough. I cannot believe that ESPN's FPI believes that Tennessee is the most winnable game out of those 3. October 29th, maybe it has something to do with what Tennessee's doing before that game. Pull up their schedule here real quick. No, they play UT Martin the week before. Yeah, they play UT Martin. Well, they play Alabama 2 weeks before, but still, you get a week to recover before you play Kentucky, a team you beat last year. I don't understand that. But anyway, that's what ESPN's FPI thinks of Kentucky. They currently have them rated 18th in the Power Index. They have Kentucky going 8.2 and 3.9, so basically 8-4, but their FPI predicts 9-3. They lean towards that. They give Kentucky a 97.6% chance to get to 6 wins. They've got a 5.9% chance to win their division, which I can just go ahead and tell you, looking at some of these other SEC teams, it's a lot higher percent chance to than some of these other teams. They've got a 0.9% chance to win the conference. They've got a 1% chance to make the playoff. They've got a 0.2% chance to make the national championship. They've got a 0.0% chance to make or to win the national title. That is the lowest percent chance out of anybody in the top 20, for those of you wondering. And also, I mentioned this yesterday, Kentucky, according to the FPI, has the weakest schedule in the SEC. Not just the East, but the SEC period. They are 31st nationally. Interesting stuff there. All right,